Doug Price here from the Agave Social Club podcast. So today I'm going to share with you, in my opinion, the authentic extra añejo list. These to me are extra añejos that if I went over to someone's house and they had these at their bar, I would know, okay, they are into tequila. Good quality, authentic tequila. I'm not saying this is the best of the best. I'm saying from what I've tasted, I believe this is a solid list of amazing, authentic tequilas. There's different magazines or websites that come out with, the ultimate tequila list or whatever it is. And the majority of the time, I agree with 30% of it, maybe 40% of it. But if you are a true fan of authentic tequilas, I don't think you're going to hear this list and say, I agree with 10% of it. I think you'd be pretty happy with this list if you had all of these tequilas in your bar. In no particular order, this is my list of true, authentic, well-made, good quality extra añejos. Here we go. Suerte. This is the Lucky Lips 8 years extra añejo. I think Suerte is one of the most undervalued tequilas out there. The entire range is delicious. It's very affordable, very well priced. And this extra añejo for 8 years is a really good representation of what an extra añejo should be. But Suerte, really, really great. Next on the list, G4. G4 extra añejo. They've got 3 extra añejos. They've got this regular extra añejo here. They've got their 5-year, and they have a 55-month. I've had them all. They're all delicious. I don't have the 55-month here in my collection. Would love to have it, but I've got the first 2. But G4, this is NOM 1579, El Pendio, Felipe Camarena. If you are into tequila, you know this distillery, and you know how amazing this tequila is. After G4, I think a really great tequila, a great distillery, an amazing brand, Cascahuín, the Hill of Light. That's what Cascahuín means, the Hill of Light. This is a family business. We've got Chava behind the reins of making the tequila, his dad Salvador, his brother Benjamin behind the scenes doing a lot. Man, just a special distillery. They've got some other brands coming out of there. Look at this color for this XA. I mean, dark, beautiful. They do have a French oak one. I know that's amazing as well. I don't have that in my collection. There's a lot of bottles I don't have that I wish I did have. But this XA, totally worth it. If you go to Mexico, it's very inexpensive in Mexico. Definitely worth the price tag here in the United States. But Cascahuín, really, really great brand. Ocho, 2015. I'm almost out. We need to just finish this. Have a friend over, just enjoy this. This Tequila Ocho, this is now La Oteña. This is Carlos Camarena, Felipe's brother. This is about as pure as it gets for that agave. They're going 3 years. They're not trying to push it anymore. They want that agave to still be out front. But man, Carlos Camarena, Felipe, these guys know authentic, old school tequila. They are multi-generational tequileros. Their father, grandfather have been making tequila for a very long time. La Oteña is a very, very special distillery. It's the first distillery I ever visited. There's great information on the back telling you more about the fields and what's going on for these agaves. But Ocho, I mean, you just can't go wrong with Ocho. Now let's kick it back to his brother. He and his brother are going to be on this list a lot because they really have it dialed in for authentic tequilas. This is Volans. This is their XA. They actually started with this XA. This is Felipe Camarena, partnered with Chad and Christina Allen. So this has a mixture of equal parts rainwater, deep well water, and natural spring water here. Man, minerality, it's light. Look how light it is here on the color, but I mean, light, crisp, that agave's still there. You're getting hints of these barrels, but a real treat. This is something that when people come over and I want them to really enjoy something, I bring out some Volans XA. If you haven't had it, make sure you try it. Now, next one I don't have. I have tasted it. Again, all of these I've tasted. There's gonna be a lot of XAs that deserve to be on this list that I just haven't tasted. Next up for me, Rey Sol. When you see a beautiful bottle, the juice inside doesn't always match the quality of the presentation. Rey Sol, that is not the case. This is aged 6 years in white American oak and French oak. The bottle is made by glass artist Sergio Bustamante. So, I mean, great tequila, but also a beautiful presentation, a piece of artwork on display in your bar, in your house, wherever you keep your bottles of tequila. But man, there's a chocolate taste here. This is not a sweet. A lot of times we think XAs are supposed to be super sweet. No, they don't have to be super sweet here. This does have a little sweetness to it, but there's a deep, rich, I think that French oak plays into this when we're blending these barrels together. There's a chocolate component here that you're tasting, but man, really, really great extra añejo with Rey Sol. Man, this is definitely my top 3. This is Tapatío Excelencia. I don't have this in my collection. This is probably the one bottle that I wish I had, that I need to get. I've never seen it in stores anywhere. I know you can get it, but I've never seen it. But Tapatío Excelencia. Just like Suerte, I believe that Tapatío is one of the best bang for your bucks tequila. Their Blanco, their Tapatío 110, their Repo, their Añejo, they're all 1 liter bottles. They're priced very well, and they are just so good. I love how the bottles look. This is Carlos Camarena again, La Alteña. Guys, they're doing 5 years in these Excelencia barrels. And you go, oh, that's a long time, 5 years. That's a strong XA. From there, they're moving them to glass jugs for 10 years. That's 15 years after the process. So when we think of these agaves were probably grown for anywhere from 6 to 8 years, and then we're going another 15 years. I mean, they could have started this with a newborn and like, hey, when they can drink, it will be ready. I mean, this is some serious dedication for 15 years before they're gonna put it in a bottle to present to the market. If you find it, grab it. Really, really great. Tapatío Excelencia XA, really delicious. Hey, we're just gonna hang here at La Alteña. Again, there's a lot of tequilas that can be on this list, but this El Tesoro XA, 4 or 5 years, still very, very light. This is 100% Tahona Crush. This is one of the only 100% Tahona Crush. There are a few brands that are 100% Tahona Crush, but this is one of them. What is a Tahona? This is a small version of a Tahona, a volcanic stone wheel. As they're crushing these agaves, we're removing that sweetness, that juice from those fibers as we're crushing. Very inefficient. You need a lot more agaves when you're using a Tahona because you're not able to get all of it off of those fibers. So a long labor of love, a long process, not efficient. This is distilled to proof. Not many brands can say that either. So El Tesoro, get it, find it, enjoy it. Really, really great. They've got their Paradiso. This is one of their older ones. If you can still find these, grab it. They've got the newer ones. I've got a newer one back there. Really great as well. They are different, but the normal XA, well worth it to be on this list. Tres, Cuatro, Cinco. Beautiful bottle. This is another one of those. The bottle, the presentation. This is designed again by a Mexico City artist. This is made by Alonso Gonzalez Jr. Beautiful long neck. I got a picture here of it. Beautiful long neck. There's some artwork in the bottom of it. Each one's going to be slightly different. It is a piece of art. This is made by Enrique Fonseca. Enrique Fonseca is a legendary master distiller. His family is a group of agave farmers that goes back generation. He's got access to some of the best agaves, and he is showing them off here in Tres, Cuatro, Cinco. This is NOM 1146. There's some great brands coming out of 1146. Enrique Fonseca, he takes his time in everything he's doing. He takes his time. Every step of the way, he's meticulous, he's intentional, really taking his time. This is coming out at 87 proof. So this is not 80 proof, this is 87 proof. You're gonna feel a little bit of that, but it's not overpowering at all. I've had some and I didn't think that it was too hot, too high proof. Man, it hits you just right. Beautiful bottle. One of these pieces that is a show-off piece, but the juice inside is equally beautiful. And then I'm gonna round out the list, keeping it right there at 1146. This is known on many lists as one of the best extra añejos. Tears of Llorona, the one who cries, made by Germán Gonzalez. He and Enrique, they're just at 1146, probably just like masterminds going through how they're doing their tequilas. This Tears of Llorona, this was a legend, the story of how he's telling a story with this tequila. He grew up hearing this legend of this story of Tears of Llorona, the one who cries. And he's telling a beautiful story with this tequila. Now, there's some heritage here with his family. His father, very well-respected tequila maker. Chinaco was one of the pioneers of great sipping tequilas in the United States. Back in the day when Chinaco came into the market, it elevated everything as tequila is something to sip and savor and just see the complexity. So he learned a lot from his father. Going back to his great-grandfather in 1880 was the president of Mexico. So there's like legit history within his family, but then within the tequila side of his family, there's also great detail in history there that he learned from his father. This is made, like I said, 1146, really great distillery. They are also taking their time here. We're going 5 years in 3 different types of barrels: sherry, cognac, and brandy. Then they're blending them together. This is gonna come out at 43%, so a little higher here, but man, when you talk about complexity, these 3 different barrels, most people are not using cognac, sherry, or brandy barrels. A lot were using, ex-bourbon, American white oak barrels, maybe some French oak, but man, to use these barrels for 5 years to blend it, Tears of Llorona, this is a 1-liter bottle. That's great bang for your buck. But this is, if you are a tequila aficionado, anytime people tell me, man, I'm really into tequila, I ask them, hey, what brands do you like? And depending on what brands they tell me they like, I can usually gauge their knowledge or how serious they are about tequila. Tears of Llorona, it would be on pretty much anybody's list of one of the top extra añejos for that authentic tequila lover. Really, really great. So this is my list. Now, are there more than 10? Some honorable mentions. Yes, there are so many that are amazing that deserve to be on this list. Pasote, they've got a really great extra XA. It is a little higher heat. Teralto 110. Teralto, they have an extra añejo. They have an extra añejo 110. I've had them both. Anything coming out of El Pandillo, Felipe Camarena, clearly could be on this list. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Jose Cuervo Familia Reserve. I've had it. Is it good? Yes. Do I think that the bottles back in the day were better? Absolutely. Do I think as time goes by, the juice that are in the bottles now are going to kind of continue to get worse and worse because of what Cuervo is doing? Yes. But I could see the argument for having that bottle, if I was going over to someone's house and they had all these great bottles and Jose Cuervo Familia Reserve was there, I wouldn't say, hey, it does not belong in that same category. But for me, it's not making my, this is what you want in your collection. I also want to throw out there, this is not an XA, but this El Tegaleño Reposado Rare. Kind of an asterisk. I know this is not an XA. This is aged over 6 years in giant pipones. These are these massive barrels for aging this tequila. Now, you cannot age anything larger than, I think, 600 liters. If it's over 600 liters, you can't call it a añejo or extra añejo, so it has to go to reposado. This is aged over 6 years, so a lot of time here. When you talk about the surface ratio, it's gonna be different because it's a lot larger of a barrel, but definitely something that is worth that authentic to be in the collection, and there are so many of them. So that's my list. I think a lot of you are going to agree any of those would be a treat to sip on, to share, to bring people together. Tequila shares a beautiful story, and all of these that I mentioned, I believe, is a part of that story. Tell me in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? Do you think these should be in the list? What would be in your list? What do I need to try that I may not have had? If you like these videos, you can subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at Agave Social Club. You can check out, I've had a lot of these brands on the podcast, so if you want to hear the backstory on a lot of them, you can find the podcast on any podcast platform. And I've got a new season coming out in January 2022. You may see some of these brands on there as well. Thanks for watching.